Hello and welcome back to SciTech. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make this very interesting USB 555 timer touch switch desk light with using just a few simple components. Let's get started. And these are the items that you're going to need to make for this project. And this right here is the schematic to make this project. And if you want, you can pause this video and copy down the schematic and start making your device, or you can watch this video and see how I make this device step by step. And the items that you're going to need to make for this project is one 555 timer IC, an 8-pin IC socket holder, a 20 ohm resistor, two 1 mega ohm resistors, and a perf board, 5 white LEDs, and a perf board which will hold the LEDs, and this perf board will hold the 555 timer circuit. And to give it more of a natural look, I'm going to use this piece of wood to use as a housing for the circuit. This piece of wood came from the bottom of a Christmas tree. And I'm also going to use these two brass screws, which will be used as the touch switches for the circuit. And I'm also going to use this big screw, which will attach to this wire, and this wire is going to hold this perf board, which is going to hold the 5 LEDs. And you're also going to need to use this USB cable to power the circuit. And some wires to wire everything else together. Now, let's go ahead and assemble this circuit, and let's get started. First, I'm going to start with this perf board and the 8-pin IC socket holder. I'm going to place the IC socket holder right about here on the perf board. Solder it into place. Next, I'm going to attach the 1 mega ohm resistor onto pin 2 and 4. There we go, just like that. Solder it into place, and then solder bridge it to the IC socket holder, and then cut off the excess. And there, it should look just like this. Next, I'm going to take the 20 ohm resistor and place it on pin 3 and 4. There we go, just like that. Solder it into place, and then solder bridge it to pin 3. Cut off the excess. And there, it should look just like that. Next, I'm going to take the 1 mega ohm resistor, and I'm going to place that on pin 6 and leave the other end of the resistor free. There we go. Bend over the lead and solder bridge it to pin 6. There we go, solder it into place, and as you can see, I've bent the free lead of the 1 mega ohm resistor, and I'm going to connect that to pin 1 to be able to ground that resistor. Solder it to pin 1, cut off the excess, and there, that 1 mega ohm resistor that's connected to pin 6, and the opposite end is now grounded to pin 1, and it should look just like this. Next, I'm going to connect this USB cable to the circuit to power the circuit. I'm going to take the positive and solder it to pin 8, which is the VCC of the circuit. And I'm going to take the negative cable and connect it to pin 1, which is the ground of the circuit. I'm going to take the positive cable and place it underneath just like this. Bend the wire over and solder bridge it to pin 8. And there, connect it to positive. Next, I'm going to take the negative wire and connect it to pin 1. Place it over here just like that. Bend over the lead. And then solder bridge it to pin 1. There we go, just like that. And there, it should look just like this. Next, I'm going to take this wire, which I call the switch wire, and solder it to pin 2. Bend over the lead, and then solder bridge it to pin 2, just like that. Next, I take the second switch wire and solder it to pin 6. Bend over the lead, solder bridge it to 6, and there, it should look just like this. In my opinion, I think the perf board was too big, so I'm going to cut off the excess. There we go, that looks much better. Next, I'm going to take this negative bridge wire and solder it to the 20 ohm resistor, and then solder the other end of the bridge wire to the pin 1, which will mean that the 20 ohm resistor on one end will be grounded. And there we go, it should look just like this. And now, solder bridge it to pin 1. Perfect. And it should look just like this. And now it's time to make the LED circuit. I'm going to take these 5 LEDs and attach them to this perf board. Place the LEDs evenly apart and orientated just like this. There we go. Push down the perf board so that way the LEDs are flush with the board. Bend over the leads, just like this. And now it's time to solder one pin of each LED into place. Doing that will allow me to remelt the solder and push the LED flush with the board. There we go, just like that. Repeat the same process on all of the LEDs. And there, the LEDs are now flush with the board. And now it's time to solder the second pins into place. And there, it should look just like this. Next, I'm going to bend all of the leads of the LEDs, so that way all of the anodes are with the anodes and all the cathodes are with the cathodes. And it should look just like this. Next, I'm going to solder bridge them all together. There we go, solder bridge together just like this. Next, I'm going to take a positive bridge wire and solder bridge all of the anodes together. And there we go, all of the anodes are now connected. Repeat the same process with a negative bridge wire and solder bridge all of the cathodes together. And there we go, all of the anodes are soldered together and all of the cathodes are soldered together. And it should look just like this. Next, I'm going to take this wire and connect it to the LED circuit. Take these stripped ends of these wires and put them through the holes of this perf board. There we go, just like that. Bend over the wire. And there we go, both of the wires are now bent. Next, I need to align them, just like that. Next, I'm going to solder tin these thick wires, just like this. And then solder the wire to the perf board. Repeat the same process with the second wire. And then connect the two wires together, just like this. And there, it should look just like that. And there you have it, the LED stand is now ready to be attached to this piece of wood. I made a pilot hole, and I'm going to take this loop right here, place it in front, and take the screw, put it through the loop, and then screw it to the piece of wood. Just like this. And there, it should look just like that. Next, I'm going to take this long positive wire and solder it to the anodes of the LEDs. And there we go, soldered into place. Next, I'm going to take that long positive wire, which is connected to the anode of the LEDs, and I'm going to place it through this hole right here, which is going to go to pin 3. Solder it into place, just like that. Next, I'm going to take a long negative wire and solder it to the cathode of the LEDs. There we go, solder it into place. And then take that long negative wire and solder it to pin 1. So that way the LEDs are grounded. And as you can see, I made these 2 dots. That's where I'm going to take these switch wires and wrap them around the brass screws where those dots are going to go. Next, what I'm going to do is remove the insulation of the wire, about that length, which would be the right length to wrap around the screws. And there, it should look just like that. Something I forgot to do that's important is I need to bridge pin 4 to 8 with using this bridge wire. There we go. And now it's time to take the 555 timer and connect it to the circuit. Place it in just like this. And there you have it, the circuit is now complete. Let's go ahead and plug it in and test it out. And now let's touch the switches. And there, it turns on and off, on and off. Perfect. Next, I'm going to take these brass screws and screw them into the wood. There we go, screwed into place just like this. Take a switch wire and wrap it around the screw and solder it into place. Repeat the same process with the second screw. Next, I'm going to take some electrical tape and I'm going to attach the wires together so they're not all over the place. There we go, that looks a little bit better. Next, I'm going to take some hot glue and glue down the circuit onto the piece of wood. There we go, glued into place just like that. Take some more hot glue and glue down this wire. Next, I'm going to take some more hot glue and glue down the wires, so in case when you're moving the LEDs up and down, the wires won't detach. And there, the project is now complete. And it should look just like this. Let's test it out. Turn it on, off, on, off, on, off. And as you can see, this works very well. And there you have it. Now you know how to make a USB 555 timer touch switch desk light circuit with using just a few simple components. And there you have it. Thank you for watching SciTi Tech. I hope you learned something new, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and of course click on the bell icon to be notified for future SciTi Tech videos. Till the next tech, goodbye.